Not as good.
So, the objective, prime time, has to proceed through the past to prevent the timeline, fuck's sake, from the time machine being created, essentially. From the time calamity being created, I should say.
This is the proper time travel RPG experience.
So confusing.
Yeah, if any of our listeners know what Duncan's talking about, please write in and let us know.
So, I'm going to simplify that right there. 'Cause that's...
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Idiots 3 RPG podcast, and we are playing Pitch Slap, the competitive tabletop design show where we pitch ideas for games and promptly tear them apart. My name is Jack Stone, and with me I have...
Hello, I'm AJ.
And
I am Duncan.
these unlucky two will be putting forward their game ideas, and I will be awarding points based on fun, design, and novelty, as well as them needing to fulfill one particular special category for this game, which is... time travel. But that's enough of that. Let's get started. Normally we would roll for initiative or some such nonsense. Instead, today I want to ask the two players a question, and whoever has the better answer will be going first. So, what movie doesn't have time travel, but should?
But should. Well, I'm going to go with not one movie, but I think a franchise needs to include it, and that is the Fast and the Furious movies. Because if you have watched the progression of those movies, now they've evolved into the glorious mess that they are. That is the logical conclusion, is that they're going to go back in time, and Infinity War style, revisit the other movies. Oh, spoiler.
And
no, that was Endgame. Shit. Anyway, Duncan.
You're fine.
Time travel, rewind, try it again. I would say the movies that would be improved by time travel is Star Wars, because anyone who doesn't like anything that's going on would just go back and just stop someone at birth, you know? Palpatine, back to when he's born. Bet he wasn't a Sith Lord when he was just a little baby, you know?
There's probably an extended universe story about that.
Well, there is time travel in Star Wars Rebels, the TV series.
Well, then you are disqualified. No, you are disqualified. AJ.
Ah, shit.
You win.
Wait, why did I win?
Because he I don't like him. You go.
Lovely. Hello, I am AJ, and my game is called Los Cronocrímenes.
Ooh.
Which I have titled that only so I can make an obscure reference to one of my favourite time travel movies. Right, how we're going to do this is we're just going to play the game.
Great.
We're going to get straight into it.
Play the game. Let's do it. I want to roll a dice.
I need to set things up, and this is all going to be cut. But give me a minute.
Okay.
Time travel, fast forward.
You are alone in a white void. Your mercenary clothes look well worn and fit perfectly, but they aren't familiar to you, like they have been worn in by someone before you of your exact size and build. Your hands appear dirty, like they have been doing hard work, but no scars or calluses cover them. They are fresh and smooth. You try to remember how you got here. Memories glide through your mind, then disappear again in a flash, impossible to hold, like arrows flying through your peripheral vision. You begin to feel heavy, like you're being pulled into the ground. You hear a deep, formless voice in your mind. It speaks two words. Kill him. You appear in a short dungeon corridor with 3 old rusted jail cells lining the east and west walls. You each stand at opposite ends of the corridor in a T-junction, forming a capital I with the rows of cells. A quick glance inside the cells reveals various skeletons still dressed in armor, some carrying shields and weapons. You also see a single broadsword in the center of the corridor. A pain sears through your head and a voice screams, "Kill him!"
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And for initiative, Jack, you're going to go first.
I'm running to get the sword.
Running to get the sword. You make it part way. Duncan, what would you like to do?
Run for the sword.
Both running for the sword?
This is prisoner's dilemma shit right here.
You both run at the sword, your hands clasping for it. However, Duncan, you get to it first.
Yay.
You have the sword. Jack, you just didn't get there. What would you like to do now, though?
Okay, I'm going to try and rush to the closest cell and try and open the door.
Okay, you run towards the cell and shake the door, and it is locked. You probably could break it given it enough time, but you might need help. Cool. Duncan, what would you like to do? You have the broadsword?
I'm going to stab him.
Yeah, it's a decent hit. You get him in the arm. Jack, you are now bleeding, and it really, really hurts. What would you like to do?
You fucker.
The voice says kill you. I must.
You both only hear screams when each of you speak.
Oh.
What screams from him?
So yeah,
both of you only hear screams from each other. So,
okay.
Jack, you took your turn screaming. Duncan, what would you like to do?
just keep stabbing. Manic stabbing.
Jack, you feel the broadsword slice through you, blood pouring from your wounds in a crimson stream. A floating sensation takes you over, the floor dropping away from you. Duncan, as you release the sword, you feel the same floating sensation and hear a cackling in the back of your head. Yes, excellent play. Wonderful, wonderful. You're alone in the white void. You begin to feel heavy. A deep, formless voice in your mind speaks 3 words. Kill the original. Jack, you are standing in one of the cells on the east side of the corridor, closest to the north end. In the corridor to the north, you see Duncan getting his bearings. To your left, you see yourself, disoriented and gathering your thoughts. To the right of you in the cell is a skeleton, a bow in its left hand, a quiver holding 5 arrows by its side. Across the hall, we see Duncan, you are standing in the middle cell on the other side of the corridor. Your former self is on your left to the north, the former Jack to the south, another Jack across the hall, and in your right hand, a key.
Interesting.
Duncan, we're going to go with you first.
Cool.
However, as you are standing in your cell, you see your 2 originals running for the broadsword. What would you like to do?
Interesting. Do I remember the previous round?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to grasp the key and unlock the door in front of me.
Reach outside and try and unlock the door.
Yes, please.
The key fits, but it's going to take you a turn to open it because, old door, that's what's going to happen.
Yep, I accept my fate.
Jack, what would you like to do?
I'm taking my bow and I'm shooting this guy.
You're going to aim to shoot Duncan.
Who's this guy?
Original Duncan.
You're going to aim to shoot original Duncan. And yes, you hit very well. He stumbles. And you both feel something. Like you've been unlinked. Like your paths may be splitting. As the original Jack and Duncan are running for the broadsword, Duncan gets hit with an arrow and stumbles. And Jack, you are now on the broadsword. Duncan, you're injured, but I'm going to allow you a turn now.
Oh, so do I get to play original me as well?
You have been unlinked, so he can now do things. You can now do things.
So, sorry, hold on. Are we playing the 2 characters, or has our consciousness switched to the original?
Yes.
Okay.
So just continue to run at broadsword, but with the intent of tackling Jack before he can use broadsword.
You madman. Jack, what would you like to do?
I'm slicing him.
You're slicing him? Okay, we'll roll against each other. Yes, Jack, nice job. You slice him across the belly. However, not quite dead. Duncan, what would your second you like to do?
Can I open this? Am I opening this cell or am I attacking Jack? Which is second Duncan? This is so confusing.
Second Duncan is in the cell with the key.
Okay.
It is now unlocked. So you can now leave it. You can do whatever you want with the key.
Open door.
Door is currently open, yep.
Yeah. So with the key in my clenched fist, I want to clock sword-wielding Jack in the side of the head.
No. You go for him, however...
Got him.
No, you miss.
Shit.
Unfortunately, you're not quick enough. Jack, your second you is in the cell with the bow and arrow. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the guy with the key.
You're gonna shoot the guy with the key?
Yeah.
No, you miss. It flies through, clatters into the cells behind him. We are over to injured Duncan.
I want to continue to... I want to bite him.
Bite me.
Yeah, I want to just try to bite him. Like, that's the only way I feel like I can dismantle
I'll bite your bleeding legs off.
Yeah, exactly. Just but a scratch.
You do not manage to bite him.
Shit.
You crawl towards him, teeth first, and you do not manage to gnash his kneecaps off.
Oh, no.
Jack, over to you.
Original Jack.
Yes.
Stab.
Stab, stab.
This one.
You're going to try and kill the original?
Yes.
Yes, you absolutely kill the original. Splat! You're back in the white void. You feel something pulling you into the ground. You hear a voice say, "Kill the original." Duncan, you are standing in the cell closest to your original on the west side of the corridor. To your side is the skeleton holding a small but sturdy-looking shield. It seems light enough to toss and small enough that you could throw it through the bars. Hint, hint. Jack, you are standing a few yards to the right of your original, slightly down the T-junction outside of the cells. In your right hand is a key. You see your originals start to run. Let's go through. So, you see your originals start to run. You each run for the sword. Duncan, your second copy in the middle cell unlocks the door. Jack, you shoot Duncan and you succeed. And now we're over to Duncan 3.
Duncan 3 with the shield. Duncan 3 with the shield is going to toss the shield out to his original but now arrow-wounded companion.
Very good. An incredibly deft move. You fling it straight through the cell, and it knocks your original, and they grab it.
Yes.
Congratulations, you have now unlinked someone.
Yes.
Nice job. Jack 3 with the key near the end of the corridor where you originally started. Next to you, inside the cell, directly next to you, you see two smaller swords. What would you like to do?
I want to get the key to my original and take Jack 3 to grab the sword. So swapping, essentially.
Ooh.
But I don't know if that's too much in one turn.
Alright, you run up to your original. They are now unlinked, and you each know what you want to do.
Yeah.
You swap the keys, and I'm guessing you now have the Jack 3 has the broadsword?
Yes.
Very good.
That's the intent.
Duncan 1, what would you like to do?
Well, I've got one strategy. It worked for me in the first round. So I'm going to run Manic and Screaming at the broadsword, but Manic and Screaming with my shield up.
Okay, you're going to basically go and smash him with the shield, yes?
Yeah, I could just tackle him with this. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Just tackle him with the shield. I like that a lot.
Yep, you successfully attack him with the shield, and Jack, you are knocked prone. It'll take your turn to get up, or you can take an action while you're lying down, but not yet, because it isn't Jack 3's turn.
Jack 1's turn.
Correct, it is Jack 1's turn.
Cool. He is going to run over to this door and unlock it.
Okay, original Jack, you are going to unlock the cell which has the two swords in it.
Yes.
Yep, they'll take a turn, that's your turn over, because
Cool.
these are big heavy keys, blah, 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 blah. Duncan number 2 has unlocked the door and has come over to punch someone, and then is unlinked, but you can't do anything yet.
Shit.
You have still...
Oh, I thought he was going to fucking knuckle dust you whilst you're on the ground. I was like, yes, my plan is inadvertently coming together.
He isn't standing in the same place.
Crap.
So he's come over, suddenly he's unlinked, you now have control on his next turn, but not yet. Jack 2 is not unlinked yet, so he's going to shoot at Duncan again, and as per his roll last time, misses.
Yay.
Doesn't work out.
That's interesting. I like this mechanic. No, this is
Yeah.
cool.
Duncan 3, you are in your cell.
Shit.
You have no shield, you have nothing.
I would like to
Good day, sir.
try and force the lock.
Yep. You're making some headway. It bends, it's grinding. It's going to take you at least one more turn to do this,
Okay.
especially without help.
Sure.
Jack 3, you currently have the broadsword.
But you're on the ground.
You're on the ground, so you're going to be at disadvantage. So you can either stand up, or you can just take a wild swing.
Can I get up and arrange myself to be in front of this one?
Okay, so you're going to stand up and try and defend the original.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. You get to stand up. Duncan number 1, original.
OG Dunga with the shield.
What are you going to do?
Okay, just fucking attack. Just keep attacking. In fact, this time I'm going to attempt to tackle again, like Goofy from Kingdom Hearts, fucking straight up shield smash into the broadsword guy to knock him into the key guy and take them both out like a fucking 10-pin bowling.
Oh, I see. So you're essentially trying to knock Jack 3 into the original Jack.
Yes, I want to take them both out.
But you have to make the goofy noise.
Even after that, there's only a mixed success. Well, we'll say
Even after my goofy noise.
Jack 3 has been knocked over again. Congratulations. But you do
not
not manage
again.
to get near
Okay.
original Jack.
Sure, so I knocked the broadsword guy down again.
Jack number 1, what would you like to do? You are now
Number
in the
1.
cell with the two swords.
Okay, I've unlocked it, yeah?
Shit.
I'm going to grab the two swords, one in each hand.
Cool. You grab the two swords in the cell. You are now in the cell with two swords looking very deadly. And we'll finish up there. Duncan number 2.
With the key.
With the key. You are now unlinked and can do anything you want.
I would like to... So, did Jack leave the key in the door that he just opened?
Yes.
I would like to shut that door and lock it again. Taking
like
the key back out the lock.
Ooh. Okay, to do that, you'll have to run across the corridor and do it. So we'll just need quite a good roll. Possible, though. Oh, yeah, shit, yeah. You just moonwalk over.
Yes.
You moonwalk over, lock the door, and Jack is now stuck in there with his two swords.
Great, so I've got 2 keys.
You've got 2 keys, one in each fist.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
They call him Two Key Duncan.
Cool. Jack 2, you are unlinked with the bow and arrow. You can now shoot at anyone. I'll let you know Shield Duncan is totally facing the other way, and I'll give you advantage because he's not paying attention to you. He was paying attention to everyone else like a fool.
Bojack. Fire.
Didn't even need advantage. You totally get him in the back. I'm going to say one more hit's going to do it. Okay, Duncan 3, you are currently still trying to force the door?
Oh yeah, can I just continue? I want to be like feet not even on the ground anymore, like fully hanging off the door like
You successfully open the door. So on your next turn, you are unlinked. You can do whatever you want.
Let me out. Let me out.
Jack, you are on the floor with the broadsword.
Okay, I'm going to take a wild swing at Shield Boy
Okay.
and hope for the best.
Yes. No, you do it. Cool.
No.
Assault.
You slash his ankles, blood pouring out. You're back in the white void.
Oh, the original. Oh, of course, because he was the OG. Shit.
That's why I was targeting
That was going
him.
so well.
That's why I got this guy safely into a cell that
Yeah.
you just locked.
Yeah, well, see, you have a sword and a bow. I needed to deal with you one at a
All
time.
according to plan.
You hear a voice that says, "Kill them all," and a cackling voice in the background. Oh, I love it.
Yikes.
Duncan, you're standing a few yards away from the original Jack, the opposite end of the T-junction to his copy with the key. So there is you, original Jack, then the Jack with the key. Jack, you are standing in the cell on the east side of the dungeon, closest to your original, containing the two swords that you picked up before. Duncan, next to your new copy, Duncan 4, you can see now there are 3 swords in the cell next to you. Duncan 1 runs for the sword.
Duncan 1 runs for the sword.
Jack runs for the sword.
He runs for the sword.
Duncan 2 unlocks the door.
He unlocks the door.
Jack 2 shoots
him with
Duncan
a bow.
and succeeds. Duncan 3, you successfully throw the shield. Jack, you do the key and the broadsword swap, so now Jack 3 has the broadsword, the original Jack has the key. Duncan 4, you're up.
Right, the guy. So Jack 3 with the key. I just want to straight up tackle him, 2 hands around his neck, choke him out.
Jack 3, who formerly had the key.
No, Jack, whoever's got the key right now.
That's original Jack.
For fuck's sake.
You're going to
Jack
tackle
1,
the original Jack.
Yes. I want to run across the room screaming manically. 2 hands around his neck and choke him out.
And do some damage.
Yeah.
Let's see what you get. A little bit of damage. No matter what you do on your next original turn, you're going to be at a disadvantage. But not massive damage. You'll need like 4 turns to properly kill him in this way.
Okay.
But yes,
slow death. It's a slow death.
you succeed over to Jack 4.
I would like to grab one of these and throw it at this guy.
You're going to grab one of the swords and throw it at Duncan 4.
Duncan 4, sorry. Yes, Duncan 4.
I'll tell you what, I'll say you can reach through the bars and give him a stab.
Give him a little poke? Yeah, I'm going to give him a little poke.
Look at this favoritism just because it's him judging your game.
You reach through the
smart.
bars. Oh, you give him a little stab. Just a
tickle.
little stab.
Little poke.
If you got a really bad roll, I was going to have you stab yourself by accident. But no, you managed to give Duncan a wee stabby stab on the side.
Duncan.
Not down, but not great. Duncan 1 knocks Jack 3 over.
With the shield storm.
Jack 1, you are unlocked, but you are currently being choked. So what would you like to do?
I guess
Fight him off?
fight him off.
Fight him off?
I'm gonna whack him off.
Whack me off.
Whack him off. Whack him off.
Like a Russian
Yep.
porn star.
But because he has been slightly injured, yes, you managed to kick him off. You're no longer being choked. Duncan number 2, you run over and try to hit.
I try to smack him in. Oh, yes, because he's still down.
You are not unlinked. You hit over and you realize that you can't do anything here.
Okay.
Okay, Jack 2, you are going to shoot for Duncan and miss. Duncan 3, you are taking a turn to try and break out.
Yes.
Jack 3, you stand up to try and defend the original. Jack 4, no, Duncan 4.
Duncan 4.
So Jack has fought you off. You're a
fought
little
me
bit injured. What would you like to do?
So, I want to grab his key and try to drag him away from the bars out of reach of those fucking swords.
Okay, so you're trying to simultaneously get the key, overpower him to get him away from the door.
So in like a single yank motion.
You manage to grab the key,
Yeah.
and you're going to be able to stop him for the next turn,
Okay.
but not much other than that. So you don't have a powerful grasp on this key.
But is he slightly farther away from the bars? Like
No.
out of stabbing distance?
Nah.
Shit.
Jack 4, what would you like to do?
Stabby.
You're gonna try and stab him? You're gonna have to get a good roll to not accidentally stab yourself.
Okay, I won't do that then.
You're not gonna
I'm
do
gonna
it?
try and get the key off my original self.
So you're now all 3 gonna try and grab the key. All right, what are you gonna get, Jack? You all 3 of you are like, you have all grabbed the key in your hands. Duncan number 3, where are we up to?
Duncan number 3.
Duncan number 3 knocks Jack 3 over again. Jack 1, you are unlinked. You're currently in this, 3-person key fight. If you're going to try and get it off him, you've got advantage because you've got 2 of you doing it.
Yeah, that is what I'm going to attempt to do.
All right, you're going to try and rip it off him. Oh, yep, absolutely. Jack, both Jacks, Jack Original and Jack 4, both have the key. You are empty-handed.
Okay.
Now that's all you're going to get to do. Duncan 2, you are now unlinked.
Duncan
So
2.
formerly you were holding the key about to punch Jack, but he's no longer there. Originally you were going to lock the original Jack in the cell with the swords. That's no longer happening. You are unlinked. What would you like to do?
I want to pile into the guy with the broadsword to try and retrieve the broadsword.
Brow sound.
So I'm just going to clock the sword guy in the head with my key fist.
Okay,
With
yeah.
the intent that it will make him let go of the sword.
Yes, you managed to clock him in the head. Jack 3 drops the sword. The sword is now in no one's hands. Okay, we are over to Jack 2. You shoot the original Duncan successfully.
Shit, that's right. You're still fucking linked.
Cool. Duncan 3, you have now broken out of the cell.
Yes.
And that's it.
Shit.
Jack 3, who is on the floor but no longer has a sword, is unlinked. What would Jack 3 like to do?
I will grab the sword again.
You're going to try and grab the sword? Jack, you now have the sword. I'll give you a little bit extra. At disadvantage, you can try and stab
so
someone.
he gets extra.
Yeah.
Harumph.
I'm gonna
Harumph.
chop it.
All my
shield
plans
boy.
being waylaid.
Same thing. You're getting disadvantage though. No.
Yes.
In your dazed state, you swing with a sword, which you're loosely grasping, and you meet nothing.
So you're saying maybe
No.
a soft maybe?
No.
No, get out of here,
Who are we
Jack.
up
Get
to?
out of here.
Duncan 4.
So Duncan 4 has just lost the key.
Just lost the key, yes.
Shit. Yeah, I need that sword. I'm going to abandon my key wrestle and attempt
grab the
to
sword?
get the sword.
Okay, just.
Yes.
Duncan 4, you successfully wrestle the sword off Jack 3, who is still on the ground. Cool. Jack 4, what would you like to do?
Jack 4 is Sword Jack.
Sword Jack, yes.
Sword Jack is going to pass the 2 swords through the bars to Original Jack.
You hand the swords over, he drops the key inside the cell, you can unlock it and do stuff on the next turn. So, Original Jack now is dual wielding. Duncan, with the shield, what would you like to do?
I think it's going to be pass the shield to the guy with the broadsword and then mount the guy on the ground with the intent of just beating. No, biting. Biting's my
I'll
plan.
bite him off.
I want to bite his neck.
Yeah, alright, you're gonna pass the shield over to the copy of you who now has a broadsword and the shield.
Yep.
And you're going to engage Jack 3 in combat.
If you want to put it like that, yes. But I wish to bite his neck. Should have bitten
I'm
his
not
ears.
going to let you do that much, but
Okay.
next turn, Jack 3 has to deal with it.
Great.
Cool. Jack 1, what would you like to do?
OG Jack.
Who now has 2 swords standing outside the cell, and you've got Duncan with broadsword and shield.
He's going to engage broadsword and shield, Duncan.
Sick. Gladiatorial fight. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you get a bit of a hit in. Nothing immense because he's got the shield, but you got a good roll. One of your swords connects with his side, so you've done a bit of damage. Duncan 2, your turn. What would you like to do?
So I think I really only have one logical choice, which is to bring my key fists into the melee of the swords.
Okay, so you're going to attack Original Jack with the 2 swords.
Look, I've got one strategy. It worked once. You know, I admit a couple rounds have passed since it's worked, but I'm feeling good about it. So I'm just going to blindly charge in with a key fist, and rather than go and unlock more swords, which I now realize would have been more useful, I'm just gonna clock him in the side of the head.
You do indeed clock the Original Jack holding the 2 swords in the side of the head, and you that's a good hit. You do some damage. All right, we're over to Jack 2.
Is that Bojack?
Bojack.
If I were to shoot at OG Duncan, is that going to incur disadvantage because he's in close proximity, despite being prone?
Oh, because he's on the floor trying to beat someone up. I'd say if anything, you have advantage there.
Cool.
But if you get a real bad roll, you're gonna hit yourself.
Cool. I'm going to
That'll
take that.
be really bad.
I'm going to take that shot.
Roll those dice. Oh, no, it's fine. You managed to hit Original Duncan straight through the neck. Splat. Original Duncan is now down.
Lovely.
You hear a voice cackling in the background. Oh, delectable.
Nice.
I don't like these people.
All right, who are we up to? Duncan Duncan 3, because we messed up the order.
Yay. Duncan 3, I think can just pile back onto Jack 3, preferably with teeth. And this time I'm going to go for like his... Yeah, no, I'm going to keep going for his neck, I think.
Yeah.
I want jugular.
You're biting his neck like an absolute animal.
Yeah, thank you.
Jack 3, what would you like to do?
Which one's Jack 3?
Jack 3 is the one on the ground beneath Duncan.
Oh, he's going to bite him back.
Yes, you do indeed. You are now just biting each other in this quite romantic way, really.
Chewing each other's lips.
Right, who are we up to? Duncan number 4.
Duncan number 4 with
Has
the
a
score.
sword and a shield.
So he's going to do like fucking Spartan style shield forward and then like thrust and then back behind his shield.
Oh, yep, absolutely. Stab!
Owie!
A terrible blow to the original Jack.
Excellent, I love it.
So yes,
Is he still
original.
alive?
No,
Yes, he did.
original Jack has now been killed.
Oh, no.
He's a broadsword.
Oh, no.
And you were distracted because you just got clocked at the side of the head.
Yes!
We're up to Jack 4. You're still in the cell with no swords and one key.
I'm going to go and unlock the fucking cell door.
You suicidal maniac. You unlock the door. Duncan number 2.
Shit, which one? Oh, he's a key guy.
Yep, still got a
Okay.
key in his fist.
Okay, pocket the key and pick up both swords.
Cool. You're gonna pocket the key, pick up both
Yes.
stabby stabs from the original Jack.
That's correct.
Jack 2, Bojack, what would you like to do?
He's going to take a shot at the melee of biting people.
Yeah, okay. Again, if you get a bad roll, you are going to shoot yourself.
It worked well last time.
Cool. You succeed in shooting Duncan 3, who is now dead.
Oh shit, really?
Yep. He was already biting you. Like, it wasn't going to take much. You're like wild animals out there. Cool. Duncan number 3, you are dead. Jack number 3, you are on the floor. Real bloody. But you can still move. There's not
Now,
much you can do.
broadsword and shield Duncan
He's facing the other way.
is facing the other way, so he's going to leap onto him.
You're going to leap onto
From
him?
your
can do
prone
that.
position.
Yes.
No, you crawl along the floor towards him, blood pouring out of your mouth. But no, I'm sorry, Jack. You don't make it. Cool. Duncan, number 4.
Duncan number 4, hearing the fight end behind him, turns around to address this pathetic morsel on the floor. And by address, I mean address with sword.
Address with sword.
Yes, please.
Didn't even need advantage. Yes, you kill him.
Right.
Splat. And so ends the ballad of Jack 3. I'll be honest, Jack. This is looking bad.
Remember you.
Cool. Jack, you have unlocked the cell door.
I'm relocking it.
Fair enough.
Cool. You relock the cell door. However, you are right next to it now. Anything that is stabbed through the bars is 100% going to get you. No roll. So, Duncan 2.
Well, you know
Kill
what I'm
him.
going to do.
Kill him.
Yeah,
Just
no.
going to sword through the bars, just like he's been doing to me.
Excellent. Stab. Jack, you are no more. There is only Bojack left.
And he's got no arrows, and he's locked in his cell.
Jack 2, you're in your cell with your bow.
What would you like to do? Hide at the back?
You're going to hide at the back of the cell. Hide from reality. Duncan.
Duncan number 4, will it?
Yeah, Duncan number 4. But I'll let you just do both moves.
Great.
Because it doesn't matter. There's nothing standing in your way. It's
Well,
your turn.
I have a key. Mm-hmm. He is in a cell. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go both characters to the cell door and make really intense, unblinking eye contact and just unlock it.
The door swings inwards.
Okay, I'd like to retrieve the key back out the lock.
No, it's
push-
Jack's turn.
Shit.
Bojack.
Rushing him.
Rushing him with
Rushing
the bow.
him with the bow.
You rush over, but you slip. You're nervous. You're the only Jack left. Duncan?
Well, I mean, I just want to pile in 2 characters, stabbing him to death.
Yep. You pile on top of him. Jack takes multiple fatal wounds, and as he has no real weapon, except for this bow with no arrows, he lies on the floor bleeding.
Who would have thunk? My strategy of charge blindly worked.
You're back in the White Void.
Oh, fuck off.
And that's the end of the scenario.
Yay!
Oh, lovely. Let me clear this up and then we'll
Fucking
continue.
Christ, that got complicated.
Yeah, that was great. That definitely needs some extensive
Who would have
notes.
thought a game based around time travel would have got complicated?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Very good. That's Los Cronocrímenes. That
love
went
it.
on for a while, so let's have some quick chit-chat and then keep going.
What I would like to know is, So by the sense you said scenarios, so it sounds like we've just done sort of like one scene, as it were. So what is like the full version of this game? Like what happens now?
So the full version, I was imagining very much sort of like Portal, like a puzzle solving game. So the actual attacks and things, I was just rolling on D6s with a certain pass fail disadvantage and stuff. I don't think the combat and those actual mechanics work. This is a puzzle game.
Okay.
So what I'd imagine it as is like a booklet where you've got sections for like a 2-player, 3-player, whatever versions, and you've got different scenarios in it for that you could like make work in D&D, make work in pretty much anything, and then you put your players in that scenario, and as it goes on, it's very much a Portal kind of thing where you've got GLaDOS, or in this case, these two other characters who are controlling your actions. And so you go through the game having to do these terrible, terrible things. And ideally, and I think this will be a complete clusterfuck, is they slowly break out and start making an impact on the world outside of the scenarios they keep getting put in.
Okay.
Similar to Portal, where you eventually break out and can defeat GLaDOS.
Sure.
Spoilers.
You're like between the puzzles.
Yeah. So little in-between parts where it sort of breaks. You start getting more memories back. You start remembering old versions of when you already did these tasks. You learn who the skeletons in the cells are. That sort of thing.
So it is very much as a very GM like intensive game.
It's it's so hard to keep track of. The actual important part of this game is just
notes,
a system to keep track of everything.
Yeah.
This game isn't complete without that, and I was just using Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah,
it wasn't ideal,
not super efficient, but it did work.
It did work in the end, but you need a really good way of keeping track of where everyone's been and what's happening and stuff. Which is why we had a map and figures on a table. Otherwise, it will be really, really difficult.
It very much seems like the kind of game where it's like one of those rare RPGs where you really want like as few players as possible.
Yeah,
it's that because this game could almost work one-on-one, because if it's all about puzzles, then you get more characters as you loop through time.
Yeah, I guess you could have one where it's just like you just look at one page of the booklet and you both do your moves, and then you flip over to the next page and it reveals what happens next and stuff. But I don't know.
But I must admit, like, I think puzzles would be fun, like quite a lot of fun as well. But actually, just that one, just combat-driven scenario where we had to not just think about our objective, but what the previous characters were doing, was actually just. If you had said
what happened next, what happened before, is the same question.
If you said, "Hey, that's the game. That's the full game," is a sort of gladiatorial arena where you're fighting with yourself through multiple timelines, and then that alone was
really
it
definitely
fun.
Needs the puzzle thing though, because if it's just a circular arena and you drop each of copies of you with different weapons, I don't think it's as interesting. You need to present choices of am I going to force the door? Am I going to unlock this one? Am I going to just clock someone with a key in my fist?
It worked.
Because especially, I loved it, because on the later rounds you went, damn it, why did I do that?
Yeah.
If I hadn't done that in the previous round, I could do something way better now, but I'm wasting time trying to force this door, and I'm not unlinked yet.
I think it would be good to consider whether there should be a benefit to maintaining the timelines, maintaining the linkedness, because while, sure, we had moments such as my Bojack shooting someone successfully the previous round, and thus it being beneficial, I feel like those are going to be quite rare circumstances. It's always going to be better to have someone unlinked so they can react to changing circumstances.
Yeah.
True. I think like you could have done things to unlink it, like maybe you throw a key at them and distract them, or you had Duncan's previous one who threw a shield out, and that unlinks them. Like make it quite reasonably easy to unlink people. Like, but it should.
I think there should be an advantage to maintaining the linking. Because it's very easy to unlink them, but maybe you're going to add in a little strategy there where you're thinking, well, I know that this next turn, my linked character misses, but maybe that's actually worthwhile doing. Maybe I should try and maintain that instead of trying to unlink them before they fuck up.
What if you can actually maintain the link when you get to the end of the loop where they unlink because there's nothing left, they get like a power-up or something? You know, just like a +1 sort of like blub, 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 because they like you managed to complete it rather than stop it.
Something like that.
So an advantage to getting to the end of linked
things. So
I see
it's
what you mean.
It's an interesting change to the attitude of the game, because it does.
You could also just have that happen sometimes. Like maybe that's a roll the GM does in the background.
That's
like,
also-
oh, you got through the entire link, you get to roll for a bonus.
Yeah.
It also
something like
encourages
that.
you to plan ahead,
Yeah.
so you're not interfering with your own previous plans. And it also adds a nice strategic layer as well, where you've got two players trying to do separate plans, but trying to interfere with each other's while maintaining their own.
It's a game, like, I think the experience you have playing it for the first time and the second time will be completely different. Because the first
Yeah.
time, we had no idea what was going to happen.
Well, you were just dropped in a cell. You had to
exactly
kill each other.
We had
But like, this is time travel themed. I'm sure you thought something was going to happen. But
Yeah.
if you just threw this at people who had no idea how the game worked,
Yes.
I think that'd be a really interesting moment.
I think like the first time you play encourages people like me to do typical strategies like I prefer. Whereas if I played it before, I'd have to change. I'd be like, oh, actually, okay, I know there's going to be at least 4 rounds, and it's going to be an increasing clusterfuck. So I don't want to role play some manic madman who charges. I need to create strategies that will work not just now but next.
Yep.
Like the bow shooting those successful shots with the bow was really good because it gave you an advantage every round because it was hard to unlink that character straight away.
Yep, a big part of it is I wanted because I had to flip the board round once. Duncan, you won the first round, and the map I drew was the other way around. So I had to flip it around so the person who succeeded was at the north end so that I could place everyone else in the way I'd planned. Because you won the first one, then Jack has advantage on the second one, so then you start winning. And that it was very middle ground after that. Yeah. It felt like that was one of the key mechanics is if you get someone to win first and the other person's winning, and then you're on about even ground.
It was, yeah,
somewhere.
it was
a fun way to reveal it. It doesn't have to work that way every scenario, but
well, I think part of the fun would be random drops. I mean, you use items, but what if there's like a health pack or body armor, and like or just like a wolf that comes in as like a wild card. There's all sorts of interesting things you could do with the scenario.
yeah, it's not tethered to a particular world either.
Yeah,
because the obvious thing to do is sci-fi Portal. It's a simulation thing.
Yeah,
but didn't want to make that comparison directly. So we're in a fantasy world, and there's a couple of evil wizard things.
No, it's fun. I liked it.
All right, cool. So that sounds like we've discussed a fair few things, some improvements, where the ideas are from. Do you have any final closing statements for your game?
It's a good game. Give me points. AJ Dunn.
Okay, good. So that was, what was the name again?
Los Cronocrímenes, or you can write Time Crimes.
Time Crimes.
There we go.
In the middle of our street, Time Crimes. Okay.
Ad break. Right.
Oh, is that the sound of Sarah Beck I hear?
This is Sarah Beck for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Slow cooking, whether on your stovetop or in a slow cooker, can make the economical cuts of meat taste delicious. Less tender cuts like bottom round and brisket taste best if cooked in moist heat, so they're ideal for slow cooking. Since these cuts usually give you the most meat for your money, you can have economy and good taste. For more information, write How to Buy Meat, Agriculture Radio, Washington, 20250.
And thank you to Sarah Beck for that wonderful message about meat. I don't know about you guys, but I could certainly go for a nice ribeye right now.
I wouldn't even cook it. I just lick it.
Just tear straight into it like a rabid Wolverine.
I'm still kind of in the mindset of my character from your game, AJ. So I just
Vicious.
I really want to run at both of you and just bite your neck.
Okay. Speaking of neck biting, let's go into Duncan's game
neck biting.
about time travel.
Let's do it.
What can we look forward to, Mr.
I'll tell you what you
Duncan?
can look forward to, and it's 2 words, and it rhymes with schmeim blabble. I'm sorry I said that.
Everyone's sorry that you said that.
So, my game is called Butterfly Out of Water.
Ooh.
And it is
That's
my take on what a classic one-shot RPG would look like with a significant time travel component.
Okay.
What we call the STTC, the significant time travel component. So basically this, from a gameplay perspective, this game is quite similar to some of the sort of one-shot RPGs that I've been inspired by and brought in the past, where fairly simple character creation, fairly simple mechanic, and to get through the story, there's a few scenes that you have to get through. Mm-hmm. However, time travel can break the ever-loving shit out of this game, which is where obviously our today's theme comes in. So you are, imagine a normal RPG, you're progressing through scenes, trying to solve objectives, but at any point, you can rip open a time portal and be like, ah, shit, we screwed up, let's go back. However...
How's the time travel work? Is it you go back and meet your past selves, or is it sort of Days of Future Past where you go back into your same body?
Let me give you a brief synopsis of the plot, and then that's going to start to anchor all of our mechanics. Mm-hmm. So there's only one character in this game, and that person is known as the prime character. Every other player is the same character from a different future timeline. So prime character makes their person first, and you can either do it yourself, or I've got a couple of random character generators, which is just going to build a really generic person.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else is whoever they want to be, so long as you can justify the timeline moving in that direction.
Okay.
So if you want to be cyberpunk basic prime character, you can. All you're going to do is make sure that your backstory justifies his world or her world becoming your world.
Right.
So
right.
everyone is the same character. Now, the original... So this in this world, time is there are multiple timelines. They don't necessarily cross over. So it's not parallel dimensions, it's parallel timelines that all sprout out of different threads, and changing one doesn't necessarily change the others. So you can all the different timelines can exist in one timeline without breaking other timelines.
Timeline doesn't sound like a word anymore.
This
So
is
it's more
sounding
of a-
so much like Primer.
Time web. So prime character is visited by a sort of ghostly voice.
Spooky!
Yeah.
Tonight you'll be visited by 3 ghosts.
Save that
The
for the
past,
Christmas
present,
episode.
and future.
So from the future and another future. So he's visited, or she is visited by a ghostly voice that says in that person's timeline, in the prime timeline, in 30 years,
The prime line.
the prime line, oh, I love
Ooh,
it.
I like it.
Improved already. Humanity will invent a time machine. However, the time machine is going to completely break time, causing a time calamity that will stop all time for all time.
Aha.
Time calamity.
Yeah.
Not as good.
So, the objective, prime time has to proceed through the past to prevent the timeline, fuck's sake, from the time machine being created, essentially. From the time calamity being created, I should say.
This is the proper time travel
Yes,
RPG
it's
experience.
so confusing.
Yeah, if any of our listeners know what Duncan's talking about, please write in and let us know.
So, I'm going to simplify that right down, because that sucked.
That wasn't the simple version?
Well,
That's
how does play actually happen? Because you got these players
Yeah.
and the character spread across time. How does play actually occur?
So, play occurs in different scenes. Once the opening has been resolved, like ghostly voice, the other timelines are summoned into this world, into the prime line. I keep saying prime time, into the prime line.
Prime time is a registered trademark.
Yeah.
The prime time
Into
of
the prime
the
line.
prime line.
Exactly. So the party basically has to go to different scenes, doing certain objectives, and a lot of those objectives seems like weird and like low key, and the one we're going to be playing today doesn't sound like it should do anything. However, everything they do sets off a chain of events that marches back up the timeline.
Like
to
a butterfly out of water.
Correct. To where the time machine is created. Now, everything you do in this game makes the final scene, which is stopping the time calamity, slightly easier. So you could skip, you have time travel, you could skip straight to 30 years in the future and do the final scene straight away. It's going to be really hard because you've not done anything to make it easier.
Okay, let me just get this straight. So, the main character, the original version of the main character,
Correct.
Is visited by this ghostly voice.
Time.
Then his future selves come and meet the original, and then they all travel through time together.
Correct. The only person who can actually open a portal through time is the prime character.
Okay.
So everyone else is a slightly better character because they're a future self, and if you choose to, you could be like a cyberpunk augmented future self. So if you choose to be a really lame future self, it's kind of your own fault. So you just to move through a couple of really fast other mechanics just to set the scene before we play. At any point, prime character, and whichever one of you wishes to be the prime, that's fine. I kind of thought Jack
It's
would
me.
make sense
I'm
for
the
you to be.
host.
Yeah.
I win. That's how it works.
The prime time host.
You're the only one that can open a time portal. If you're incapacitated, that's it.
Oh.
All right.
No more time portals. But there's a few other mechanics. There's time mischief. Time mischief is almost like spells in this game. So because you have the power to shape time in different ways. Prime character gets the most of these abilities. Everyone else has to earn them by completing scenes. So they get time mischief eventually, but they don't start with it.
Okay.
The other one is there's a mechanic called a time hiccup. A time hiccup is like this version's edit point or inspiration or anything like that. So if you do something particularly cool, the GM can award you a time hiccup token, and that allows you to quickly rewrite something that you screw up. Because we are just playing a short game, you both get to start with a time hiccup token.
Lovely.
So at any point, you can be like, I fucked up.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah, and we just go back a little bit. You can't severely rewrite time, but you can go back a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to give you both a little character sheet.
Lovely.
So, on your character sheet, Jack, we're actually going to randomly generate your character. Your name is Johnny. Your name could have also been John, Jonathan, Joe Boy, Jojo, J-Dog, JD, Nodge, John, or Paul.
So I'm future.
You and I, future Johnny.
I'm future Johnny.
So
I could have changed my name since then.
You could have.
I could have.
So Jack and I need you to roll it 2 more times. That's going to give you a job and a description.
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're a cleaner for a corporate office that hates you.
Okay.
And so you're Johnny, the cleaner, who works at a job that hates him. I'm also going to get you to roll 1 final time. That's going to give you a description.
14.
14. You are short-tempered. So there are 20 options of names, jobs, and descriptions, but the names are split 50-50 gender-wise. So if you just want to be either male or female, you roll a d10 instead of a d20. Mm-hmm. So, AJ, you may now be any future version of Johnny the Cleaner.
So how old is Johnny?
How old is Johnny? Up to you.
He's 32.
32. Okay.
I can make him younger if you prefer.
No. I like 32. I'm going to go quite a bit.
Do it.
50.
Great.
Big
Right
5-0.
So you'll also see you've got a series of stats.
I have physical, mental, combat, robustitude, and charisma.
Yeah, so you can probably guess what most of these do because they are kept simple. Robustitude is the only slightly different stat, and I actually quite like this mechanic. I might use it in the future. Robustitude is stamina, your health. So it's not just your ability to resist things happening to you, it's also your health. So the more you take damage, the harder it will be to resist things in the future until you're healed.
Okay.
So the core mechanic of this game is roll your stat or higher. So the lower your stat, the better the stat. So AJ, I want to talk to you about your character for a little bit. Tell me who they are.
This is J-Dog, age 50.
Yep.
I'd like to say I've been through a couple of jobs and I'm back at the same job as Johnny. But I have a nickname this time.
Okay, what's your nickname?
J-Dog.
Oh, I see. And
You'd think the younger one would have the nickname like that, but hey, this is just J-Dog's
That's
life.
really depressing.
do you have...
No, he's cool with it. He, imbibes in certain substances quite a lot. He's seen some things, and now he's just looking for that chillax life, man.
Do you have any other buffs? Do
Any
you have
other
anything
buffs?
going for you?
Yeah, I used to be a karate instructor in my late 30s.
Sick.
Yeah.
So you'll also note in your character sheets you've got some time mischief. Mm-hmm. Jack, you've got a few time mischief.
I do. I have open time portals, slow, fast forward, and aggressive aging.
Indeed. And you have
got
just
slow as well.
slow.
Yeah.
So the reason that you have a time mischief is because in this world we have already completed a scene. And by completing that scene, you earned the slow ability, as did Jack.
Okay.
So slow does exactly what it says on the tin. You can briefly slow down time in an area or person.
Okay.
Fast forward is pretty obvious. The only one that might not be quite so clear is aggressive aging, where you can aggressively age or de-age something. Just and you're going to be rolling dice for successes and fails, and that'll tell you.
I was
obviously.
like, do you just tell them that Jurassic Park came out nearly 30 years ago?
And suddenly you just see you see their wrinkles like deepen. They go, and then they cough one whirl of dust and collapse into a pile of bones.
I like it.
And that's probably enough for us to start.
Lovely.
So
Set our scene.
let me give you the plot as an actual written down thing, which is more interesting than my shitty, very confused explanation before. So we begin. Johnny is asleep at night. It is an ordinary night, except you have the strangest nightmare. You are sucked out of your bed into a strange glowing portal, and you swirl down into a mysterious purple fog. You scream as you fall, but no sooner have you splashed through the fog than you realize you aren't falling anymore. You didn't even feel yourself land. Then a voice calls to you. It says, you are the chosen one. You are the one who can save all of time. For in your timeline, in 30 years, as yet uninvented government forces will invent the world's first time machine. But this is a bad thing. The machine will break apart the very fabric of time, destroying time for everyone. It will be known as the Time Calamity, and on that day, everyone will be late for work. You must travel through time and stop the calamity. Only you have this power. The problem is, time is a rubbery little bitch. Just one tweak won't be enough to totally end the calamity. It would take a hefty shove for time to get the idea. And so, we summon... That's a time portal sound effect. We summon J-Dog from the future comes to your aid. The call has gone out to the other timelines, and only J-Dog, having the most free time, has come to help.
Yeah, that's me, man. I'm going with the flow.
Why on earth have you developed an American accent?
Hey, man, you've gone places. You've seen things. You've got an accent now.
I mean, I suppose stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
So,
Where shall we go?
you are going to the suburb of Green in the city of Brown, where Hubert Cummings currently resides. Hubert Cummings is just a 5-year-old boy. However, when he is an adult, he will become the lead scientist on the Time Machine project. Ooh. However, as a 5-year-old, Hubert Cummings is about to flush his pet goldfish down the toilet. It is still alive. He's going to do this for fun because he thinks it's an interesting idea, and he's 5 and has no real conscious knowledge of what he's doing.
Non-radical.
Exactly. However, this is going to spark a chain of events that slowly leads Hubert Cummings to lose his appreciation of humanity. By the time he builds the time machine, he will build it recklessly, only wanting to achieve time machine, the objective.
Heinous.
He will build no fail-safes. He will not try to think about any human lives in this process. Your objective, stop a 5-year-old boy flushing his goldfish down the toilet. So that when you get to the time calamity, it's a bit easier. So, if you wish to cast open a portal, we shall begin.
I shall cast open a portal. Oh, okay, it got worse.
So you find yourselves on the street outside of Hubert Cummings' house in the suburb of Green in the city of Brown. It is a nice, pleasant, sunny day. You can hear birds twittering in the skies, lawnmowers happening all over this lovely suburban neighborhood. And in front of you is Hubert Cummings' house. It is a typical American 2-story house. It looks moderately large, so it's going to be sort of 3 to 4 bedrooms with maybe 2 or 3 bathrooms, including en-suites. And in all other senses is generic middle-class happy house.
I'm going to go and find the water meter, or
Okay.
the water spout, the thing
Okay.
outside every house that
Yep.
they have, and I will turn it off so he can't flush the toilet.
You, having seen many a cliche suburban house before, know precisely where the panel probably is, and lo and behold, it is. Thanks to the manicured lawn being perfectly trimmed, it's very easy to find and open. J-Dog. Oh, this is confusing. J-Dog.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door and hear movement from within, and a man opens the door, and it's just a very normal, plain-looking individual, big square spectacles because we're in the past, and he goes, "Yes, hello.
Hey there, man. Listen, my name is Jay. You can just call me Jay, because we're friends. I'm feeling a connection here.
Instantly looks slightly more suspicious.
I'm traveling around this town offering philosophical musings to the under 10s as part of my community service to the greater power. Do you have any under 10s in the house? What's your name?
No, thank you. Not today. And he closes the door in front of you.
I shove my foot in the door.
Excuse me. Please get off my property before I call the cops.
Listen, man, studies have shown that exposure to philosophical musings under the age of 10 have massive improvements in
Your pineal
everything.
gland.
In the pineal gland, man. I don't know if you're putting your child's future at the front of your priorities. How do you feel about your child's future?
Oh, he's not as angry as he was when you first started talking, but he's not buying it. Because you've really not swayed him that much.
J-Dog just needs to
he stopped mentioning the
charm him more.
cops, so he's like, please, sir, I need you to go. And then he notices something. He notices a man who looks suspiciously similar to you on his front lawn, opening his water box, his water meter thing, and reaching in to turn the tap. He's like, and he throws open the door. He's like, hey,
Slow.
great. He's going, hey, and you see him moving in perfect slow motion.
J-Dog, what on earth are you doing?
I'm just, negotiating with the master in this scenario.
Just go and steal the child.
Man, this is trippy. Right. J-Dog is gonna search the house for Hubert Cummings.
So we're gonna let you start that action because it's a few different things. Come
Sure.
back to Johnny. What are you gonna do? Time slow is gonna wear off pretty soon.
I'm going to open a time portal and push the guy through.
I didn't expect that mechanic to be used in such a fashion. So you open a portal and kick him in, but you have no idea where he's gone.
Excellent.
I mean, that's good effect.
Your objective was at least achieved.
Anywho, is it my turn?
Yes.
Good. Still gonna look for
So,
Hubert Cummings.
You poke your head in the study and don't see Hubert Cummings. Moving across the hall to the living room, you poke your head in and you see a middle-aged woman who is walking through what appears to be a kitchen, holding a tea towel and a plate, and she just sort of freezes dead when she sees you. She goes, hello, who are you?
Hey there, salutations. I'm here from my church. I'm offering philosophical musing to the under 10s and the over 10s. Your husband let me in. He said he was desperate for philosophical musings for your son Hubert.
John?
Johnny comes round the corner.
Oh.
Yes?
Oh my god.
Slow.
Oh my god. She freezes, just dead.
Excellent, man.
Oh, this is fun.
Cool. Shall we continue to search for Hubert Cummings?
Yes.
We continue to
suppose.
search for Hubert Cummings.
So, Johnny, where do you want to go? And J-Dog, where do you want to go?
I'm going upstairs.
Okay.
I'm going downstairs.
Oh,
I
so you're
guess.
going to proceed
Unless that's
towards-
already been searched.
No, he's
Not completely.
Not completely. So you could proceed past where the wife came out, and you see it's a kitchen. It's a classic suburban kitchen with all the gizmos and gadgets that are no longer relevant in today's modern times. You don't see a bathroom immediately, but there is a door. There's a back door that leads to the garden, presumably no bathroom out there, although the world is your toilet. And there's another door that leads elsewhere.
I will lead elsewhere.
Okay. AJ, you proceed upstairs to see another hallway. This hallway has obvious bedroom-looking doors. All of them are plain except one that is decorated. So there's a colorful green H on the door. You also see what looks like it must be a bathroom down the end of the hall. It's like half open. It's like a linoleum floor.
J-Dog goes for the room.
The bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you just barge in? Do you knock? What do you do?
Knock and then open the door pretty much at the same time, giving no one any chance to say no.
Classic parenting.
Yeah. So Hubert Cummings, well, a small 5-year-old boy.
I think you're giving that away now.
Yeah, a 5-year-old boy is there and he's staring at his goldfish intently.
Hey, Hubert.
Oh, he jumps with fright and like screams a little bit and like immediately sort of cowers away from you. And he's, who are you?
What's going on? I'm J-Dog. I'm a karate instructor. You know karate? Hoo-wah!
He immediately relaxes and the word karate like piques his interest. And we're just going to pause there, come back. So you hear voices upstairs. As you approach through the door, you see it's just a laundry and there is a toilet on the other side of the laundry.
Oh, they really need to use more bleach. Right. Going upstairs.
Okay. You join J-Dog. Oh, confusing. You join J-Dog as he has just mentioned karate, and the child immediately is slightly more tense now that he sees another stranger in his room.
Good. This is my assistant, Johnny. Say hi to Hubert, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
No, hello, Hubert. You're Johnny.
Hello, Hubert.
Close to your mic.
Hello, Hubert.
He laughs at the weird thing that like this weird dynamic between you, but is very nervous. Is like, and he's just like stuttering. He really has no idea how to react.
Hey, you seem like a radical dude, Hubert. Would you like some philosophical musings? Your dad said that will be essential to your upbringing.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's amazing. You like your dad, Hubert?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He nods and he's big wide smile. Yeah.
Everyone likes their daddy.
I love my dad. I hope he never leaves.
I like my daddy too. Do you like your goldfish?
Not so much. He's been naughty recently.
But that goldfish, it's someone's daddy. What if you were that goldfish's Hubert boy, and your Hubert dad goldfish, and your Hubert dad goldfish went missing? That would make you very sad as Hubert goldfish, wouldn't it, Hubert human?
He nods silently, but is obviously like not super following.
Yeah? So, that goldfish is someone's daddy, and it would be very sad if that daddy went missing, wouldn't it?
I thought we got Mr. Scalyfish when he was a baby, and he's never had another goldfish in there.
Do you know everything about goldfish, Hubert?
He shakes his head solemnly.
Me neither. We may never know. But I'll tell you now, that goldfish is somebody's daddy.
Oh my god.
Johnny, I think our work here is done.
Yeah, okay, so roll charisma for one final persuasion.
Wherever. No.
What, is that a 6 or a 9?
It's a 6.
Oh, okay, he's not scared, but he's no idea what you were talking about. And he says, Mr. Scalyfish isn't happy in my home. I was gonna send him back to the ocean.
Well, I mean, we could do that for you, you know. You don't have to send him down the toilet. We'll just take him away. We're cleaners, you know.
Oh, my daddy says cleaners are all gross Mexicans.
Well, your daddy sounds like a racist bastard, doesn't he?
You swore.
Yes, I did.
And then you hear from downstairs movement and like a female voice going, John? Hubert? Oh my god!
J-Dog, grab the fish! We're going! Hold on. I'm gonna have a moment with Hubert. I'll tell you what, Hubert. We'll take this fish daddy away. If you'd like this daddy back or any other daddies, and you realize that this daddy's life has value to you and this fish baby's baby daddy, Humphrey.
Fast forward.
Even I am not following. Like,
Grab the fish, we start running.
he's like, Mr. Scalyfish, no!
Johnny, we need to portal. I think we need to go to this kid's future in like a week or something.
So you want to go a week into the future?
Well, my plan is we give Hubert some time to miss his daddy, and then we return the goldfish daddy, and then he thinks the goldfish is his daddy, and he won't flush it.
Okay.
And he will love the goldfish.
Okay. So you reappear. It's a week later. It's no longer a nice sunny day. It's overcast.
Why didn't you just take the ball?
The road is damp, so it's obviously been raining recently. There is a police car outside the Cummings household.
J-Dog walks straight up to the door and knocks full of confidence.
Oh, well, fuck, I don't need to roll then. I was like, roll to see if they get spotted. Oh, nope, he walks up to the door. You have not communicated...
You know what to do, Johnny.
Do I?
Train wreck. Okay, you knock on the door and you hear some shuffling from inside. And the wife from before opens the door. She's looking tired as fuck. She's haggard. She's like, this has been a bad week. She doesn't, so she lets out the most horrifying scream you've ever heard, and like an oh my god, and she like flees back in the house, and two uniformed police officers and a plainclothes police officer all appear around the door, and they're like, holy shit, and they draw their weapons. Freeze, dirtbag, you're under arrest, and they just start storming forwards.
Okay, J-Dog puts his hand up and says, peace, my brothers. I hold the linchpin to this whole case. And he holds out the goldfish in his outstretched hand.
They
so everyone
ignore
can
it
see
completely and tackle you to the ground. And you are now being wrestled by 2 uniformed officers who are wrestling you into handcuffs.
Non-heinous.
Aggressive aging.
The cop with the handcuffs out immediately sits bolt upright, kind of coming off of AJ, and he's like staring at his hands as his entire body starts to age rapidly, decades at a time in mere seconds. His skin it like withers and wrinkles, and like age spots appear, and the veins all start to show through. It looks like his skin gets increasingly thin and gaunt and weathered, and eventually he keels backwards in like a lifeless lump, but his body continues to age even long after he's died of old age. And he just shrivels and starts to rot, all in seconds. Decades worth of aging and decomposition pass in a heartbeat. And eventually he is just a skeleton shriveled with like no meat, just a few scraps of cloth and hair lingering on his shriveled corpse, and any sort of metal items that were on his person, like his gun, the handcuffs, are like rusted antiques that are now like hundreds of years old. Ooh. And the cop, the wife, are staring in absolute horror. Jack, you notice Hubert Cummings watching from his bedroom upstairs in like pale-faced horror. J-Dog being on the floor face down, don't notice it.
Okay.
And we come back to your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
All right.
You're holding out a fish.
I'm going to hold it.
That is dying.
Since the wife isn't doing anything, I'm going
Yeah.
to hold it like a gun and point it at the police officer and say, freeze, or the time-shifting fish will get you again.
He doesn't buy it at all. He clearly doesn't buy it. It's a wriggling fish. He,
A time-shifting fish.
Yeah, it
I don't know how he doesn't get it.
So, plainclothes, the plainclothes officer shoots you with his gun through the shoulder. It didn't do very much damage, but shitting fuck that hurt. And you drop the goldfish to the pavement.
Righto, time to go. And I'm running forward time portal.
Okay, we end scene, and because we're not doing any other scenes, that ends the game.
It's that easy?
You time portal out of here. And
We win! We win!
So let's do a montage of Hubert Cummings' life from this moment through to the time calamity.
Okay.
So, when he was a 5-year-old boy, Hubert Cummings, and he will never forget the day the strangers turned up. On that day, he met some weird people in his room, and over time he began to wonder if they were, during that week, he began to wonder if they were real, and his father went missing at the same time. However, the strangers reappeared, and he saw the most horrifying thing in his life. He saw a human male who was the lovely police officer known as John suddenly fall off arresting the strange men and just age into oblivion. And he saw his mother and everyone all horrified as they disappeared into a portal. And he saw as the police had to clean up that body, and what he never saw was his father return. He also saw his goldfish die on the pavement, but that seemed like a lesser problem at the time. Hubert Cummings goes on to live his life shell-shocked, stricken by a PTSD. He struggles to remember because he was so young, but that has impacted his life for the rest of his life. When he gets to the time machine, is almost like an evil scientist at this point, and he wants to build this time machine so that he can go back in time and stop the bad men from ever ruining his life. He, unfortunately, in his rush and haste to build this time machine, builds it really badly and hastens the speed at which the calamity happens. So the calamity has a time limit. Within that time limit, you can stop the calamity. By completing that scene, you would have increased that time, giving you more time to stop the calamity. However, by ruining Hubert Cummings' life, you've actually decreased the time, meaning when the calamity starts, you would have to act like instantaneously.
So what you're saying is we made an impact. We made a difference.
Correct. You made a difference.
Made a difference to one 5-year-old's life.
You stole a 5-year-old's goldfish, cast his father into some unknown time, and then killed a cop by aging him a good few hundred years in a few seconds.
Fuck yeah!
Woo!
Yes.
Danger Zone starts.
Danger zone!
And that's Butterfly out of water.
Wonderful.
Oh, that was
Thank
confusing.
you, Mr. Duncan.
You're very welcome. Thank you for doing everything I expected you to do, and more.
And should we do points now, or is there any final statement you want to make about your game?
I think it speaks for itself. It
certainly
has the
does.
hallmarks of a time travel game.
I think we start discussing it again. We're going to get more time travel talk.
That's
No
correct.
more time travel talk.
That's why I think I should
Absolutely
win. Is because it sparks time travel talk that no one can rationalize.
Okay.
And therefore, I win.
Well, I have some points. Do we want to do this now?
yes.
Cool. We have some points.
Points me.
First, we have AJ's Spanish Time Crimes,
That's the one.
which featured a board and multiple players running around having to deal with their previous plans for good or for ill.
Yeah.
For design, I gave it a 7. It's a good design, but I think that it got too complicated. And I think anyone trying to play it for real would have the DM would be just lose their goddamn mind.
That's like every RPG. I don't see how this.
I think it went outside the bounds, but I think we talked about some methods to potentially try and make it a little bit easier. It's just you really do have to have a tracking method.
Yep.
Yeah,
Got to
definitely.
be onto it.
Perhaps an app. For fun, it was 9 because it was just you just get straight into it as a player. You just go straight in and you just do some insane shit.
We
Yeah.
didn't need to know any of the rules.
No.
And that was a perfect RPG. We could just be like, what do I want my character to do?
And for novelty, I gave it a 9 as well,
Hey.
for a total of 25. I thought it was very novel. I've never played anything quite like that as a board game. I know there are a few video games that use a similar kind of thing where you're relying on your previous selves to assist you, which is the only reason it didn't get a 10.
Fair.
Cool. And that is Time Crimes for a total of 25. For Duncan's Butterfly Out of Water, for design, it got an 8. Because I think it was slightly more cohesive. I lost a couple of points because it wasn't super... it felt like everything was resolved by a D20 roll, which is fine a lot of the time, but it would be nice to have some slightly more complexity for an RPG. For fun, it got an 8. I think that it does rely on the DM having quite a cool story to go along with, but it does have a nice set story that you can follow, but it does rely on a lot of complex stuff which could get in the way. And for novelty, it also got an 8, so 8's across the board,
triple 8.
which is a total of
24.
24. So Time Crimes won by a very narrow margin of 1
What were
point.
the time?
What
were
about
the time
time
points?
points?
Did we get
Both
time
of you get 3, or 8, or 10, or whatever we're fucking measuring
10.
it out of.
What?
So
10.
we got
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
each.
because it had time in it.
Great. Was time in the game? Yes or no? Tick yes.
Yes, that's
Take
how I've
yes.
always done it. That's
10
how I've
points.
always done it.
Cool.
Fair
So
enough.
So time
34.
crimes wins by 1 point.
34 and 20,
No.
35.
Yeah, it's 34 and 35.
Yes,
Cool.
those numbers. Well done,
well
guys.
Done.
Okay.
Extremely confusing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
End music.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for listening to the i3RPG podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please give us a rating on your platform of choice. iTunes helps us especially, but anywhere is very much appreciated. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find me, AJ, on Twitter as i3RPG. You can find Duncan as SG_content, and you can find Jack on Instagram at experience_bar. We've got some fun, different episodes coming up in the near future, and we're looking for some guests for a game mechanics discussion show. So if you have a mic and would like to be on the show, get in touch. We'd love to have you on. Thanks again for listening, and join us next episode of Pitch Slap for our very festive Christmas special. See you then.